Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, Am hasibtum an tadkhulul jannata. Allah says in the Quran that you think you will enter into paradise, yet a time has not come upon you like the people before you. Masathumul ba'sa'u wad-dharra'u. They were defeated, they were shaken by calamities, and they were hit by disaster, and they were hit by the enemies in such a way that you cannot imagine. وَزُلْزِلُوا, and they were shaken till such a way that even the prophets of their time, وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ, and the believers, they said, مَتَى نَصْرُ اللَّهِ, when is this help of Allah going to come? When is this help of Allah going to come? Even the prophets had said this. Allah tells us this in the Quran. The prophets themselves raised this question, and the believers, when is this help of Allah going to come? Allah revealed, Ala bi nasrullahi kareem. Be warned that the help of Allah is kareem, it is coming.
The question in every mind, on every person, that what am I doing here whilst my brothers are suffering? How am I not able to go there and help them? Our Rasulullah said, Al-mu'minu karajulin wahid. That the mu'mineen are like one body. In ishtaka aynuhu ishtaka kulluhu. If the eye hurts, then the whole body hurts. Wa in ishtaka ra'suhu ishtaka kulluhu. And if the head hurts, the whole body hurts. So exactly the same, my brothers, this is how we are feeling. And we are feeling this sadness, and we are feeling that one part of our body is being cut off. As one body, we feel when another body is being cut off. So if it is the hand which is being cut off, you are going to feel the pain. If the limb is being cut off, you are going to feel the pain. And any part of the body that is going to be cut off, you are going to feel the pain. Rasulullah ﷺ, by this definition, is saying that if you do not feel the pain, you are not part of this body. You are not part of this body of the ummah if you do not feel this pain in your heart. And alhamdulillah, we all feel the pain. And we all cry for our brothers and our sisters. As Rasulullah ﷺ, he said, Jahidul mushrikeen, fight the mushrikeen, bi amwalikum, fight the mushrikeen with your wealth, with your money. This is one of the ways of jihad. Rasulullah ﷺ taught us 3 ways of jihad. Wa anfusikum, and with your lives fight the mushrikeen. Wa alsinatikum, and do jihad with your tongue. This is very important that we understand how to do jihad of all these 3 things. Jihad is one of the most important things, which unfortunately a lot of people or lot of scholars are afraid to talk about it. But this is one of the fundamentals of the deen. And Rasulullah ﷺ said, any mu'min, any Muslim who did not have the intention to do jihad when the elan, when the announcement is called for him, and he didn't have the intention that I will even go, and he died as a munafiq, he died as a hypocrite. So it is farz upon every Muslim to be knowing that if a time comes, announcement comes by a Khalifa and our leaders that this is the time of jihad, then we will go forward. You have to have this need in your heart. And Rasulullah ﷺ even mentioned that the one who prepares for this, that the dung of the animals that he is preparing, the animals that he is preparing for jihad, the horses, everything, the urine of that animal will be weighed on the day of judgment for him. And this will be given to him as a form of reward. Subhanallah, by you preparing. My brothers, at this situation right now in Gaza, we know that the Israeli terrorists are about to invade into Gaza. and they have prepared what they want to prepare and have their plans of what they want to do. But my brothers, I just want to remind you a reflection of the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a reflection of the battle of Khandaq. If you know the battle of Khandaq, the Banu Nazir, the Banu Qurayza and the Banu Qaynuqa, these were tribes of the Jewish clans. They were the Jewish clans at that time who besieged and they boycotted the people of Medina. They boycotted Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba Ikram. No food, no drink, nothing was allowed. And this was for 30 days. 30 days, no food, no drink, no nothing. The Sahabas are suffering. They don't have no water, their mouths are dry and they are digging a trench.
And at that time, the Munafiqeen showed up their true colors as well. The Munafiqeen started to say, oh, what are you doing? You have got a prophet who is full of dust, and you are full of dust. You are going to fight the whole of the Jewish tribes in this land, and they have been backed up by the Quraysh. They have been backed up by all the armor that they have. You have nothing. The Munafiqeen were trying to degrade the Muslims and to put them down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran what happened here. Their iman increased even more. Rather than iman decreasing, that what are we going to do, the iman became even more stronger in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That to such a level, when they heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, La isha illa ishul akhirah, that there is no life except for the life of the akhirah. Sahaba Ikram, the Ansar and the Muhajirin, subhanallah, their iman got so strong that even though the opposite army was of 10,000, the Banu Qurayza, the Banu Nazir, and not only that, there was some people, the Jewish tribe within Medina, who were betraying the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ didn't know about it yet. He didn't even know that they are traitors inside my own clan, and these were the Jewish people who had a treaty with the Muslims, and they said that we will be with you and you will be with us. The Prophet ﷺ made the first treaty when he came into Medina. In the history of mankind, the first treaty that was done was by the Prophet ﷺ, and you can see this in any website, Wikipedia, whatever. And they had planned that we will attack the Prophet ﷺ. So not only the Prophet ﷺ has outer enemies, but he's got inside enemies as well. My brothers, we see this very similar to this. We see that the people of Gaza, and we see that how the people of the Jewish clans at that time were spreading the propaganda. And they were spreading the propaganda that these Muslims are spreading hatred. Exactly today that we see the Zionist movement spreading their propaganda and their lies on the media, which alhamdulillah, we are now overtaking them. Alhamdulillah. By the help of Allah, these lies are being exposed to their own people, which never ever in the history of before, their own people never went against them. Their own channels are going against them now. And they're starting to realize that these are the real terrorists. That these Israelis and our own governments are the real terrorists, and they've got blood on their hands. They are funding them with all these bombs. Our people and their people are going to realize and see the truth.
It is mentioned that one of the early Sahabis, Khabbab ibn Arat, radiyallahu anhu, in Makkah, he was tortured by the mushrikeen, by the Quraysh, in such a way that his ribs, the bones were starting to show. He was tortured that his skin was ripped, and in such a way that his sweat was the only thing which saved it from not burning completely. He once, after all this torture, went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said to Ya Rasulullah that why don't you do dua for us? When is this help of Allah going to come? Mata Nasrullah, when is this help going to come from Allah? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, Kalla bal tuhibbuna al-ajila. But rather you are people in a hurry. You are jaldbaz. And he said that don't you know about the people before you, the nations before you, that they were cut in half. They were sliced in half and they were combed with iron combs till their skins came out, and they still held on to the kalima la ilaha illallah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is he talking about? He was talking about the Ashabul Ukhdud. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explains what is the real meaning of victory. Because in my mind and in your mind, the questions are, when are the armies going to come? Why are the armies quiet? What is the real victory? We are thinking that the armies are going to defeat them. This is in our mind. But this is not the reality of victory, my brothers. This is not the reality of victory. And this is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about in the Quran, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. They will enter into Islam in their groups and nations. This is the true victory. The victory is not of an army defeating another army. The victory is of when Islam wins and it enters the hearts of every human. It enters the homes of every person and they realize that Islam is the only true religion. This is the reality and this is the victory of Islam.